Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going over my top 10 duologies of all time. These are going to be mostly romantasy, some are YA fantasy, and one is sci-fi. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and also follow me on all my socials. They're going to be linked down below. Firstly, we have the Crowns of Nyaxia series. This is technically the entire series is my recommendation, but if I have to recommend one of the duologies in this series, it would be The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Okay, it's the first series of them all. That one is my favorite. But truthfully, any book in this series is a recommendation, and they're all duologies, so you can take any of the ones you want, okay? So technically, any of these is good. I think we're gonna have one last duology that's coming out this year, okay? But any book in the series is acceptable. This is a vampire spicy book, okay? Where our main character decides to go into this competition that the vampires have, okay? Where the winner gets to ask the vampire goddess for a favor, and she wants to ask the vampire goddess to be turned into a vampire because she is human, and she is the daughter of the vampire king. Now she goes into this competition and she is the only human in the entire competition, and they are ruthless. And she gets injured right away, okay? And she has to join forces with two other vampires, kind of against her will. And they become allies in this whole thing, and things develop from there. I will say, one of my favorite book boyfriends, vampires with wings, various types of wings, okay? Red hair, a man with red luscious locks, okay? Yeah. The spice is impeccable, the tension is impeccable, and the book 2 has a bit of a twist. I didn't like it as much as book 1, but it is an amazing duology and an amazing world to get into, so please consider it. Funnily enough, the second recommendation is a second duology in this series, and it is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone. This series is one of my favorites. It's just a really good series. It's just a really good world in general, the characters as well, and this second duology follows one of the people from the first book. This vampire goes off on her own, trying to figure out her life, trying to decide what she's going to do next, and she gets captured by a different vampire kingdom, okay, that doesn't like her at all, and she gets sentenced to be imprisoned in this hellscape place where one of the vampire princes lives. The thing is, this prison basically holds together the door to hell, and it's falling apart. And so she has to now help this prince fix the door and fix what's going on, while she also needs to go through hell in a quest to find specific magical objects. It's a whole thing. It's a beautiful love story. It's a really challenging endeavor for them. It's a whole thing. Even though the main characters from the first duology are my favorites, this one is also a very, very, very good duology. So please take a look at it. It's a really good world, so that's why I wasted 2 of my entries in these, because they're very nice duologies. You don't have to strictly read the first one to be able to read the second one. You can start however you want. I would advise you to start with the first one so you get a little bit more context on the second book, but you don't really need to. It's not a necessity, but it's cooler if you do. In third place, I have Six of Crows. This is a very well-known duology from the Grishaverse. The Grishaverse is another really nice universe that I really enjoy as well. Six of Crows is the second duology in the series, and I love this duology. You can read it without any further context, okay, without reading anything else. You follow this crew. They are led by Kaz. Kaz is like this mastermind genius, and he gets offered this opportunity to do this master heist that's going to make him rich beyond compare. And so he recruits 2 of his friends plus a few other people to pull out this heist. They end up being 6 of them, right? And they go on to this deadly heist. Shit hits the fan, and now the future of the entire continent depends on them. It's a whole thing. It's beautiful. It's awesome. The characters are amazing. Just trust me, you will fall in love with the characters. It's not a romantasy, okay? It's kind of on a YA fantasy, but I would say it's just a fantasy to me. But the characters, you get so involved in the characters, you end up loving the characters so much. It's just one of a kind. It's an amazing series to go into. Within the same universe, we have the 4th duology, and it is Rule of Wolves. Now this one, you will need the context of the first trilogy, but you can also watch just the Shadow and Bone series on Netflix. It's sort of similar, not exactly the same. It also features the people from Six of Crows, but I would advise you to read, obviously. Always read, don't watch. But you do need the context of the first one, but if you've seen the series, it might be enough for you to read this duology, okay? And it follows one of the princes of the kingdom, and he's now turned king, right? But things aren't going as smoothly as they should be after what happened in Shadow and Bone. And so he now has to like deal with the civil unrest and with war and all of that. And we just see how the other characters tag along and how they're restructuring everything. If you're into this world, you'll understand why this is one of the duologies I like the most, okay? If you're not into the world, it's kind of hard to explain this without, spoiling things from the rest of the story. Number 5 is Rune Marks. Now, this is a very old duology that I read years and years and years ago, but I absolutely love it, and it has stayed with me all these years. This is a Norse mythology-based duology where we have this girl with magical abilities, and she gets in contact with the gods to figure out her magical abilities and everything, especially with Loki. And so she goes on this adventure with Loki and the other gods through the various levels of the Tree of Life. If you know Norse mythology, you know what I mean, but I'm just not remembering the correct names for it. Because they're trying to find this treasure with Loki, and Loki's going to help her with her magic. It's a whole thing. This all unravels into a much more complex an interesting story than initially you would think when you read the first book. It's such a good mythological fantasy. So good. So if you like Norse mythology, if you like Loki specifically, he's one of my favorite gods. So I just love him in this book. And just in general, if you like Norse mythology, please look into this. This is really, really, really good. Okay, number 6 is Crown Chasers. This is a sci-fi duology, okay, where we follow this one captain. She's like a rogue captain. She's doing a lot of things. And she's technically a princess of one of the ruling houses in this solar system. But she has run away from home. She doesn't want anything to do with the royal situation. So she's living completely separate from all that. And then the king dies. When one of the kings dies, a treasure hunt is set up for this specific object that gives them the abilities to rule. So usually all of the royal houses have to select a crown chaser that will be going through and doing this treasure hunt. And she's going to represent her own house because she's made into doing that. She doesn't technically want to, but she's going to do it. This is like a deadly race to find this thing because the first person to find it becomes king/queen, right? The problem is someone is killing off these contestants, and it's becoming a lot more deadly than it usually is because it usually isn't this deadly. So you go through with the main character and go through this whole entire experience. This is an amazing sci-fi. I had so much fun with it. I enjoyed it so much, but I will say it has a very specific writing style which might give you the ick initially because it gave me the ick a little bit, but I was able to look past it. Our main character's POV is written like a log, like a diary entry. So she's very quirky when she's speaking because it is her log technically. It's her captain log. It's not really a narrated thing. When you see other people's POVs, they're very normal, but hers aren't because it's technically her diary. It took me a little while to understand that was what was happening, and it gave me a little bit of the ick to have to based on just her stupid little jokes and remarks that she does, which I now find very funny, but they are kind of corny. So be aware of that, but it's a very, very good story. And also as she grows and evolves throughout the series, that chapter becomes a lot more serious. So I think that was also an attempt from the author to show you how she was more let's say immature, not really, but technically, right? And then she's growing into her position and her power and whatever, right? Growing into who she's meant to be. So you see that growth in the way she writes her story and the way she tells the story. So that's also very interesting to see, right? So yeah, keep that in mind, but it's an amazing duology. Next up, we have Dance of Thieves. This is a YA romance where the main character is a soldier for this queen. She used to be a thief, and she was, recruited to be a soldier for the queen, and they're going into this town to investigate what's going on because their neighboring towns have been attacked and burnt down. And so she goes into this town, she gets into a fight with this one dude, which is technically the boss of the town, just turned boss of the town, and both of them manage to get kidnapped together. Yes. And now they have to make their way back to this town, and they're kind of enemies, not really enemies, okay? But they're kind of fighting against each other, but then they end up having to travel all the way back, and something develops from there and goes from there, right? Our characters, when they get back to town, they're like, oh my god, what is going on? Things are happening, and they now have to solve it and figure out what to do next. So it's a really nice duology. I know I'm probably not selling it very well, but it's a really nice duology. Next up, we have Crier's War. Now, this is a very interesting concept because it's kind of sci-fi-ish. It is a YA romantasy between two girls. One of them is an Ottoman, the other one is just a regular human girl. And in this world, the Ottomans used to be servants of the humans until the Ottomans developed consciousness, developed a personality, and they fought against the humans and switched places with them, basically. They became the ruling houses, the main people, and the actual humans are now the slaves, and they're treated like cattle, like shit, like complete shit. And so this one servant girl starts like helping out the princess of like the ruling family. Her and the princess start to develop feelings, and the princess doesn't quite understand them because she's an Ottoman. She doesn't quite understand what's going on, right? There's also this disease that's happening in the Ottomans that's like kind of slowly killing them and corrupting them. And so the princess and the human have to now figure out what is going on, how is this happening, and how can we fix it, how can we solve this, while also battling against their feelings for each other. And then they're in two opposing sides of this like fight, right? Like the human is fighting for the humans and the Ottomans fighting for the Ottomans. And it's a whole thing. Have I been saying Ottoman the entire time? It's an automaton. That's what I meant. I meant an automaton, okay? The robots, basically. Jesus Christ. It's a beautiful romance between these two girls, and it's also a very interesting world and concept and just, you know, social situation. It's also very much focused on the political side of things with the bit of the romance in between, okay? But it's a lot of focus on the political and how to fix it and everything, with them pining over each other, basically. In ninth place, we have Tempest of Tea. This is an awesome, beautiful duology with vampires, okay? Vampires. So this happens in a like industrialized type of time where we follow our main character and she owns a tea house. But this tea house is tea house for humans by day, tea house for vampires by night, and that is technically illegal. Vampires and humans aren't seen as equal. They're supposed to be seen, but they're not really seen as equal. And the tensions between vampires and humans is not the best. Also, the king from this kingdom, like the ruler of this kingdom, is in constant conquest of other lands and taking over other lands, and you know, and enslaving their people and doing all of this bullshit. Our main character puts together a group of people to do this ultimate heist in the vampire compound. They need this specific book from the vampire compound. They get mixed up into this political intrigue that's happening, and no one knew this was happening, and now it's in their hands to solve this and to help people and help save people from death, and also save the vampires. It's a whole conspiracy theory. Such a good duology, such a great read. Please take a look at it. And lastly, in 10th place, we have the Jazad Heir. I loved this duology. It follows this girl, and she is technically the ruler of Jazad, but Jazad was stricken down by the other kingdoms. They tore down the place. It's a country that doesn't exist anymore, and the Jazadis are now hunted down and killed because the Jazadis are the only ones with magic left in this world. And so our main character is Jazadi, and she's trying to keep herself safe. She's been running away for years. She was tortured for years, and so she is hiding in this little town with her friends and stuff like that, and she's been keeping her powers in check. No one sees her use her powers. No one knows they exist until one day this one kid gets trampled. She uses her powers in front of everyone, okay? Basically ratting herself out as Jazadi. And the prince of the kingdom that hunts them down, the main kingdom that's responsible for hunting them down, sees it. He's actually going to train her to be his champion in this competition that exists between all the kingdoms. And he always wins them, and he chose her as his champion. And she now has to train with him. It's a whole thing, involves in so much more. The setting, the cultural setting of this world and all of the kingdoms, how every single kingdom is very unique in their own, it has their own specific culture, very unique in their ways. The pining between these characters, chef's kiss, okay? The only thing I have to point out in this series is the magical system isn't very explicit to you. It's not really told to us how it works that well. It's the only pointer I have for the series, but it's an amazing story, amazing romance. Really liked it, so that's why it's here as well. And yeah, those are my top 10 duologies. Let me know if you've read any of them. Let me know if you have any recommendations for duologies, and if you have any sci-fi, specifically sci-fi duologies that you would like to recommend to me. I would be very thankful, okay? Let me know if you decide to put any of these in your endless TBR, because we all have it, okay? It's not shameful, don't worry. We all have an endless TBR. You're not the only one. So let me know if you end up using any of these. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video next week. Bye!